Welcome to A's Linguistics. This channel is about all things linguistic. So let's see what we've got today. I'm very excited today because we are beginning the discussion of syntax. It's one of the core topics in linguistics. I have a mnemonic trick when I talk about syntax. You see? So sint and scent. What is scent? Is the study of scent. But of course that's just a trick in order for you to remember, because I can show you the etymology of the word syntax. Ultimately it comes from sun, which means sin or together, and tasign, which means to arrange, tag. Sentence is not a cognate with syntax. So the word sentence comes from the Middle English word sentence, which means opinion. Sentence means sentient or sentient. They're not cognates, but as a mnemonic device, as a mnemonic trick, you can think of syntax as study of sentence structure. So what does that mean? Every sentence has a structure. Like, look at these sentences. John saw Mary as opposed to Mary saw John. So they are exactly the same words, right? But obviously, knowing English, we know that they mean two different things, because John saw Mary means a different thing than Mary saw John. And that's not because of the actual words used, because the words are the same, but it's because of the syntax of English that we interpret those two different meanings. I can say the cat chased the mouse, or potentially you can continue this sentence and make it as long as possible. The only reason we don't do it, when one reason is for practical reasons, probably by the time you finish the sentence, I have forgotten the beginning of the sentence. But my point here is that, in a way, it is our knowledge of syntax that we are applying for creating increasingly more complex sentences. Syntax is part of the grammar of every language, and it consists of the speaker's knowledge of sentences and their structure. He has what his father had. His father has what he had. Because of syntax, it is possible to have two sentences with the exact same words but two different meanings. In this case, if you want to get more imaginative, you can think of syntax as a dimension, as an extra dimension that sits on top of these words and constructs a particular relationship between the words. Sometimes you may actually have two sentences with two different orders that mean the exact same thing. You see, you had two sentences with the same words, different orders meaning two different things, but here you have two sentences with this exact same words and different orders, but they still mean the same thing. So here syntax allows us to have the same interpretation of two different word orders. It is also the syntax that tells us that here in this sentence, although we have the same words that we had in the above two sentences, the arrangement of words we have here is not acceptable in English. If you say swore judge the citizens new inn, this is not acceptable in English. So although the two differing word orders above were acceptable, were both acceptable and rendered the same meaning, it doesn't mean that any random order of words is acceptable. That is also what is the realm of syntax. So keep in mind that we are having an interface, or we are interacting with the semantics, but syntax is not about the meaning. The discussion of meaning is a semantics, which we will cover in the future. So every sentence is a sequence of words, but every sequence of words is not a sentence. Sometimes a sentence may be grammatical but may not be meaningful. Why it is nonsensical will be explained in the realm of semantics, but this sentence is grammatically well formed. Also, if I tell you synthetic buffalo hides, what does synthetic buffalo hides mean? So syntax here tells us that synthetic buffalo hides is ambiguous and has the following two possible meanings. It could mean synthetic hides of buffaloes, or it could mean hides of synthetic buffaloes. The same syntactic knowledge can be represented using diagrams, the tree diagrams. So these syntax trees of sentence or phrase structure, in this case phrase structure, are similar to morphology trees for word structures. But here, the tree structure, the syntax tree, this tree diagram, explains the phrase structure. It could explain the sentence structure. And I can wrap up the discussion by letting you know that syntax uses such concepts as subject and direct object to explain the grammatical relations and ultimately the meanings of John killed Mary as opposed to Mary killed John. So in this context, syntax can have serious legal consequences because you want to know who killed who. In one, John is subject, and in two, Mary, and the direct objects are Mary and John respectively. In a sense, if you want to find out who the killer was, you need to find out what the subject is. So in the first case, John is the subject, therefore John is the killer. In the second context, Mary is the killer because Mary is the subject. So syntax uses concepts such as subject and direct object to explain grammatical relations and ultimately the meanings of such sentences. Thanks for your time and attention, and see you again soon.